G'day everybody, some amazing imagery on a new video by Vlad9VT, Mysterious Barabar Caves, India. And I took one look at this and I thought, my goodness, Old Kingdom Egypt. Just have a look at this. This looks so much like the King's Chamber in Egypt. There's nothing else I know that looks more like the King's Chamber than this room right here. So I'm thinking these are similar builders, and this place is amazing. Let's just go look at this video and see what's going on here. It appears to be a sort of a rock-cut tomb, and we look at this. This is just exquisite. This is unbelievable. It looks like India has a lot of good stuff. Now they say this is built in Mauryan times. That's just before Jesus. I'm not sure. Could be older. It does look like concrete, but it's actually, from the outside, it looks like a lava flow. See, this is amazing. They've even got this type of ceiling, a bit like the Queen's Chamber in the Giza Pyramid, although that is a peak. So it could be for female burial. The door, I'll get to that. That should remind, look, these are bricks. These are huge stone, cut stone. So they may have carved into the lava, and then these are casing stones in the walls to make the walls look smooth, to make it look as if the whole thing has been cut very nicely and polished very nicely, but in fact these stones, I think they've been placed inside this room that they've cut. That doesn't mean the technology isn't highly advanced. It's all inside this lava flow. It looks, it's a sort of basalt area. It's, you know, some of the pictures here, they're just unbelievable. Okay, I've got some pictures here, some photos. Look at that. Now, I don't know if you're thinking what I'm thinking, but I'm thinking Inca. Look at the door, look at the style. And there's Brian Forster, look at that. You see? It's the same style, but this is actually even better than that. So what on earth is going on? Now I was actually about to make a video about how the ancient Egyptians and how the Incas seem to have this same stone melting technology, and it looks like the ancient Indians shared it as well. And I'm thinking, rather than just trade, migration, whatever, this was all just one civilization which lost, it was a world civilization, and they lost contact with one another, and this is one of the reasons for worldwide pyramids as well. You see, that's unbelievable. You can't say this was done by slaves. It would take slaves to cut this. Slave-like work, but it was obviously done by professionals. And I've proven in another video, you don't cut like this unless you have machines. This wasn't done in Europe in terms of stone masonry until the 1820s. A Scottish man invented, I think, a steam cutting device for monumental stonework. And then they did it on a large scale. Otherwise the accuracy was simply not very good. That's highly accurate. That looks to me like Great Pyramid precision. That's incredible. As for the rest of the area, yes, it does look like a lava flow, or the whole area is volcanic basalt stones. Look at that. That's just unbelievable. This culture, these people, they didn't seem to feel the need to embellish, to decorate. They let the precision of the cuts speak for themselves, and it's just like that in Egypt. Also, there's very little writing here. There's writing here from the Mauryan time. I believe it doesn't fit, and it actually belongs to an era where the writing would have been on metal sheets inside here, and that's been stripped away. Also, to qualify what I said earlier, those may not have been stones. Look, there is a line here, it could be natural. I'm not sure. Or the whole thing, look, this is rather flat, at least here. The whole thing has been at one time a large building and it's been melted by a catastrophe. And yes, the Mahabharata Indian texts do talk about a blinding weapon which was used in ancient times and it decimated populations. They talk about a mothership being shot out of the heavens. If it wasn't a high-tech world, at least they had a high-tech imagination. This is also at the site, by the way. The site is it's Barabar. This to me, it looks like a Germanic finger, like you see in Denmark. At least if these are the only things that were standing originally, and a parliament would have been held here, or it was just an enclosed room. And if you look at, I don't know when this was built, but if you look at that, that's concrete, that's cut concrete, or poured concrete, and it's been uprighted. This is unbelievable. And this is one of the smoking guns. This is better than Egypt. Egypt gets all the attention. Look at this. That's better than the king's chamber in Egypt. Look at that shine in hard volcanic rock. And as for the writing, apparently Mauryan period, 3rd century BC, maybe, and they say they are the builders of this rock-cut tomb. Possibly the Persians at the time, they built rock-cut tombs. These things went all the way to the Etrurians. The Etrurians in Italy, they built rock-cut tombs as well as mounds. They weren't sure which ones to build. They could have been a mix of cultures. Now, as for the writing, look, I'm so sorry, but it doesn't fit. I know the Mauryans were perfectly capable of building this. Anyone would be. In the modern world, in the ancient world, it's a bit harder, but that writing does not fit. It's just in one place. It looks like it was added as an afterthought. They thought that was a nice place to put it for people coming in. But if you look at it, the idea behind the place, the ideology of the place is not to have writing at all. It's to impress and be silent. To let the walls speak for the majesty of the place. There are at least 3 doors in this place. I haven't been here, I'm not sure, I only just found out about this place. This looks like the inside of an entrance hall in one of the grander doors. Possibly that door there. And here you have a suspicious line, I'm not sure what that's doing there. It looks like it's cracked, or it's part of something else. I'm not sure if this is a whole built structure. It could be rocks, look at that. It could be rocks like that encased in something, which then looks like it was melted or something's ground it up, or it's just a lava flow. It does look really like a lava flow that's just decided to stop flowing, doesn't it? And here, although it is obviously a lava flow, correct me if I'm wrong if you're a geologist, that looks like it's been smoothed out. Also, look, there are patterns here, brick-like patterns. Where did that come from? What's going on? Don't know. But something's not right about this, and there's something nagging away, and it's trying to express itself. These apparently are human-like figures. I think they're more like birds. That's the writing. Interesting that they put the writing on top of this imperfection. Isn't that interesting? Did an earthquake break this? And then it's been sealed in, you see? It's cracked and it's been sealed up. And look, some of the letters have been destroyed. I think this could be thousands of years older than the writing. The writing was put here, an earthquake came through, knocked this up. Also, notice it's vertical. Also here, look at that. You see this object trying to come to the surface. It's like it's built out of something. Why is it going up and down like that? It's like a building. Buildings also do tend to crack vertically. That's interesting. I'm not sure if this is the same. Yes, it is. It's also the Barabar Caves. But you can see it is obviously it's volcanism. There were huge stones like this in Russia as well, similar to this, and they photographed the most artificial looking ones, and they said, "Oh, they're the biggest megaliths in the world." I'm not sure, you know. It looks like Black Mountain in Queensland. It's all volcanic. And this is absolutely unbelievable. Look, an earthquake's come through here and cracked it all up. Just showing you how old this place is. And look, water has flowed down through here. And then you've got these symmetrical cracks running through here, almost as if there was some intention behind that. And it's polished to a mirror-like consistency. What's going on there? And if you didn't know where this was, you would say, it's Egypt, right? So, did the Egyptians build this? If this was Egypt, this would only be Old Kingdom, 2600 BC. The later Egyptians worshipped the Old Kingdom, venerated it. They couldn't believe what they were finding. And they said those are the gods that built that. Look, it's a mirror-like surface. That's the flash of the camera. And look at that sheen. That's unbelievable. And look at this. Is this, what's going on here? Is it carved or is it water? There's a huge crack here which has been patched up. I don't know why this place is cracking up. It's just... And that is the only equivalent I can think of. You see, the Khafre Valley Temple, as it originally would have looked like, made out of volcanic rocks, it would have been polished to, the granite would have been polished, dark granite, to a high luster, like this. That's the only equivalent I know in the whole world. These caves are extraordinary. Again, that's Old Kingdom. Lots of these were recycled by other pharaohs. They just stuck their names on it, chiseled out the old names. That's what the site looks like. That's the embellished Mauryan door. And you can see it does look natural, or it's been melted, and that's the proof that this is volcanism, that all these rocks. Here we have some English. There's a slave with an umbrella, or French or Dutch or whoever. Some Sikhs showing them around. That's the Mauryan style of architecture. I'm wondering if it's not something else, an older door, one of those older, simpler doors, which was embellished later on. That door would have come up to there. That's about the right height to get in, isn't it? And then this other stuff was added later, but that's just a guess. Carved around that to make it sacred for their particular religion at the time. You see that door? That's pure Pumapunku stuff, isn't it? That's Peruvian stuff. Now, if I was an archaeologist trying to protect my reputation, I would say, clearly, this is all built by slaves. And if someone pointed out, well, how do you explain the similarities with Giza? I would say, well, clearly, these people inherited, this is Giza as well, clearly these people inherited some vestige, or they were inspired by Giza. They went to Egypt, because this is the aftermath of Alexander's time, and people were travelling right throughout Alexander's empire. That's again in the cave system in India. That is 2 kilometers away from the caves. What's going on there? Something's going on. It's some imprint on a lava flow. So yeah, I'd be saying clearly it was inspired by Egypt. I'd say the builders went to Egypt, then they came back, they built these caves. But I wouldn't say that. I'm not one to say something like that. I want to go for the big explanation here. I'd rather say, since this is in Peru as well, and travellers wouldn't have gone all the way to Peru, maybe they did in the Iron Age, that this was a worldwide civilization. And they have inherited older buildings. Again, look at that. Unbelievable. This is unbelievable. It almost looks like Roman concrete, actually, because you can see, look at that line, and then they've laid that. How is this inside that huge lava flow if it's in different sections? Have they just laid this whole, or poured this whole structure? Also, if it's a different colour, that could also have been a relief, some plasterwork, some imagery. Volcanic. And this is what the Mauryans built. They built things like this. Bit different to the cave. but it could have been separated by a century or two. That's the Mauryan Empire. As you see, big empire. They would have had a lot of slaves. They managed to unite India, which has always been very divided. Thanks very much for watching.